Welcome, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Social Edge Channel. I am your host, Philip Georgeson. It's a pleasure to have you with us on the program. Our goal in this program is to show you how to move from living life on the edge to living a leading-edge life. Now, joining me every week as they do are two gentlemen who are immensely immersed in our Hubity venture through Team Revolution and certainly make this thing really go from week to week. Ralph LaBaee and Fred Dudley. Welcome, gentlemen. Great to have you as always.
Thank you, Phil. It's a pleasure to be here. Love it.
And, of course, we have a special guest this evening, Diana Kerekes. She's going to be with us in just a minute. She's on the line. We'll get to her in just a minute. But, Fred, you know, you and I were just talking here moments ago. Every time we turn around, almost, from week to week here, there's a new development either in Hubity itself or with something happening that Google is unveiling. And this week you have the dynamics of two kind of coming together in one here. First of all, I was on the call over the weekend, and, all these new marketing videos are out there. The newest one is out. It looks very powerful. Seems to be converting quite well. And, again, it's driving people to this learning lounge that has these incredible videos now. We're seeing more and more content going up on how to use the Hangout. And just as they're updating this, I know you've been playing around with it, but Google Hangout has its own mobile app now, which, dramatically changes the scale of what you can do in a Hangout now. Tell us a little bit about that and your experience using it here in the last week or so.
Well, Phil, I think it's an absolute game changer because basically what that new app allows you to do is to be a broadcast channel anywhere you have a telephone or mobile signal on your phone. Like over the last week, I shot live at Navy Pier, which is a major tourist attraction in downtown Chicago. I fired it up on my app and basically just, walked through the entire, facility and actually interviewed a few people, on the app. And it was just absolutely incredible. It was spontaneous. It was fun. And, really the message we want to send to people is, hey, listen, if you've got friends and family that are abroad, or if you're having a function, if you're having a barbecue, whatever it is you're having, those people who are not able to make it, no matter where they're at, if they're in the office, if they're in the hospital, if they're, at another function, they can actually be a part of that, keying into your Hangout. And Phil, that's really, why I love it so much, because it brings people together at your event no matter what you're doing.
Now, Ralph, you've sat on the other side of it where Fred was out in the field, and, of course, you're now kind of at the hub, if you will, making things happen back at the command center. What's been your feeling about what you see in this application and how it dynamically changes a lot in terms of the Hangout experience?
Well, I tell you, Phil, one of the things that I love that you just used was the word command center. Because as we are all very keenly aware of and tuned into is the fact that a major EF5 tornado ripped through Moore, Oklahoma, and obviously our prayers are with them. But I saw an infographic today put out by Mashable, and in this infographic it says 76% contact friends when disasters strike to make sure they are safe. And they use social media for that. That's what this infographic is about, is them using social media. Now, I want you to think about that specifically in the context of what that means as it relates to what we're talking about here just now as it relates to Google+. You can bring, even with using a mobile phone, up to 9 people into a Hangout. Now think about that. The friends, the families in the Oklahoma area wanting to get the message out or find out if their friends, their families, their loved ones are safe. And how much more reassuring is it than to be able to have or be in on a video broadcast with that whole group? It just leaves you with a completely different feeling in terms of how they are actually doing. So the potential use and value of this to the average individual is truly immense, truly immense.
That is very interesting, and I had not thought about that. But we were, again, in our pre-conversation before the program here, we were talking about how this makes and connects everybody even closer. Again, let's say Fred's at a conference for Hubity, and let's say the three of us couldn't be there. He can do a live hangout, pull somebody aside and make a couple of comments. We can ask some questions about some things that may be having there. And we've just bridged that gap real time through that connectivity. So really powerful and extremely excited. I want to turn, since we're having this discussion now on social media and its applications, I want to turn to our very special guest. Diana Kerekes is with us, and she is a certified master business and success coach, and she's dedicated herself to mentoring others to reach their financial and spiritual goals. She is amazingly knowledgeable in the area of social media, and that's why we have her here on the Social Edge program. Diana, it's great to have you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Phil. I greatly appreciate it.
It's great to have you up from the New Jersey area, of course. You have been now using Hangout and of course, a part of Hubity and what you've been doing. How has that affected your relationship with your clients, and how has it made you more efficient having your own social broadcast channel like that?
It is awesome. It really is, because people could actually see you. And, because I do my coaching on the internet. And, before I would use other, venues. But using this, it's just so much more personal. They could see you, you could see them, and the interaction is wonderful. You could, videotape it if that's what you choose. It's just dynamic what this whole concept is, and I am so excited. Also gets the information I need to get out, to the masses.
And are you finding that those who are participants, those people who will just, come and watch, are they finding it easy and seamless for them to be able to participate and click through and say, oh, okay, I can get there. It's pretty easy to do this?
Yes, I'll tell you something. I thought, I'm not a techie person, okay? And I was like, oh no, I got to learn something else. But I'll tell you something. It's very self-explanatory. It's anybody could do that, from a child to a child of 99. Let's just put it that way. Anybody could do this. It's very, very simple.
Fred, any questions for our guest this evening, sir?
Diana, when you're doing a hangout with your people, do you do it one at a time, or do you have it in a group setting? How do you basically manage your coaching?
I do it. It's both. I could do group coaching. I'm certified for that, as well as doing it individual. And it's good because when it's, when it's individual, the person could actually see what's happening. You could actually give them their, because what I do is I give homework. Assignments, and then this way they could see it right off. I do screen sharing. They could see it right off my computer, and it's just so much more interactive. It's like if you're in the room with that person, and you could actually kind of see the dynamics of what's going on in the home environment as well. It kind of gives you a little, peek of what's happening. As far as with the group, that's also an awesome setting because, again, you could share, the homework assignments that I give, and, this way it works out well.
In their earlier discussion today, Diana, you had mentioned something that I never thought of before that this does. In the sphere of relationships, you said something that was very pervasive to me, and that is it brings people eyeball to eyeball. And you get to see a little bit more of them and who they are with that kind of interaction and face-to-face, as if you were in the same room. Expand on that a little bit, because you brought up some interesting points.
Well, one of the things is I'm working with a particular business partner, and he's from a different country. And, when you're dealing with people from different countries, there's different, cultures, and basically everyone wants to see that person that they're dealing with. Okay, and when I was able to see him face to face, as well as the team that we're developing there, the trust issue, it just went. There's no trust issue. Everybody saw who I was. They saw that I was a real person, and it just was phenomenal. And I'll tell you something. When you're dealing with a group, I was just recently on a hangout. It was a religious hangout. The energy on there, it was just amazing. I cannot tell you. You just felt it. You felt the energy. You felt the enthusiasm. You felt everything that the other people are feeling. So this is just phenomenal.
Fred, back to you for a moment for your follow-up there.
Well, yeah, I was basically going to say the same thing, Phil, and thank you so much, because I'm going to tell you what really closes the deal are those group settings. I mean, I remember when I was with the Apostle, we were heading out to a church to do a presentation, and we decided to pop into a White Castle. So we're sitting in White Castle. I whipped out my little phone. I got the hotspot, fired it up, and we called Alex in New Jersey, in Perth Amboy. I mean, wherever he lives, in New Jersey. And the apostle's eyes almost came out of his head. So you're absolutely right, Diana. I concur that in a group setting, you don't even have to sell this program. It sells itself.
Ralph, I want to get you on the discussion. You always have some tremendous insights, and I'm sure you have a question for Diana. Go ahead, sir.
Thanks, Phil. Yeah, actually, I do. And Diana, my question goes to homework. Everyone loves homework, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, we know that's not the case. But
right.
I do have a specific question related to the homework that you give. How often would you say that your homework includes them learning or immersing themselves in technology? Because obviously it's had value for you, taking what you were doing and moving it to another level and up in your game. I'm just wondering how much you're emphasizing that with the people you're working with in terms of carrying that over and emphasizing the value it's going to bring to them.
I emphasize it 100%. If you want to do a business, or if you have a business, or if you want to brand yourself, whatever you want to do, you need to be seen. You need to know what's going on. You got to know the latest and greatest. You really do. And by getting out there with the technology, like this technology, years ago, I'll be honest with you, I was scared. Like there's a lot of people out there that are scared to do videos. They're scared to do these things. But I'll tell you something, the value is priceless, because you're actually, you're getting indexed on Google. You're being seen by people. People are like, hey, who's this person? Let me get to know this person. You're getting your name out there. And that's really what business is all about, if that's what you choose, or your cause. Some people have their causes that they want to get out. This is a phenomenal method to get that information out.
It's great stuff and a good point. And not only that, but it transcends to all your other social media platforms. I'm assuming that after you've done some kind of presentation or what have you, you move from the YouTube channel where it's been then posted, and then you share that out amongst your other platforms. Is that how you do that, Diana?
Yes, I do. I go to Pingler, and I've also done OnlyWire. So anywhere I could, be honest with you, any place I could get that information out, I do it. Just to get that going, because you never know who's going to see it, who needs that valuable information. So the more you could get it out there, the more viral it will go.
Fred, I want to go back to you for any final thoughts you may have, and if you have any other final comments or questions for Diana at this point. Great stuff, very powerful. Go ahead, sir.
Well, the only thing, being a coach, most people that I know of do coaching via phone. Mm-hmm. How easy is it for you, Diana, to convert these people from doing a telephone coach situation to a Hubity or a Hangout situation? Because you got to teach them how to set up, the Gmail accounts and stuff like that.
It's very easy, again, as long as the participant, the client is willing to learn, it's awesome. Because then again, you're also teaching them, valuable lessons. If it's a business client, they need to know this stuff. They need to know, how to get their Gmail, how to do all this, because this is where we're heading. We're heading to Google+. They need to know this. So by using it, showing them how easy it is, getting them to implement it themselves as well, it's just easy, so much easier. Because on the phone, you lose, you could kind of inflect your voice, but it's not the same when you actually see their eyes. I can't explain that. I can't emphasize that.
Ralph, some of the takeaways for tonight as you see it and some of the things we've been discussing here this evening.
Two takeaways for me, Phil, are Diana actually saying that she looks to emphasize or care for technology 100% in terms of emphasizing it with her clients. And that's really not only vital to her success, but vital to their success. And I love that she's being very intentional about that. The last comment that she just made, as far as a takeaway for me personally, is where she talks about the eyes. And as a believer in Christ, the Bible talks about the eyes being the window to the soul. And when you get to see someone and look them in the eye, you're literally connecting on a very personal, intimate level. And you really get to, Diana phrased it in the context of energy. You really get to see who they are and what they truly are all about. There is no hiding. There is no veil. There is no guard or anything to, separate the two of you because you're there face to face. So that's what I love about that, is that she brought that forward, the value of connecting face to face, eye to eye.
Great points. And for me, I think the final one and the biggest one for me tonight is the fact that the mobile Hangout app is and does work and is definitely a necessity. Get that app. It is in Android and in iOS form. Use it. It just again becomes one more weapon in your arsenal to be able to connect and communicate efficiently with your network, and it's very important to do so. So there you have it. That's going to do it for another edition of The Social Edge. This is your host, Philip Georgeson, thanking you again. Be with us again next week. We'll have another great special guest, Fred, Ralph. Thanks again, Diana. Pleasure having you on the show. We'll see you all again next week. So long, everybody.